You know what I noticed? Nobody panics when the Islamic Republic executes women, children, freedom fighters. But Israel strip searches Palestinians?
Then everyone loses their minds.
No military, no invasion, no nukes yet. And the regime that engineered all of this? They're too busy executing their own women, children, and anyone who dares to speak up. And that's not a conspiracy theory. That's the story of Iran. And almost nobody is talking about it. To understand how this works, first you need to understand one thing about the internet. It's not a neutral information system. Every platform you use, Instagram, TikTok, Meta, YouTube, they all run on recommendation algorithms. And they all have one job and one job only.
You had one job.
It's not to inform you, it's not to make you a better citizen, and it's not to give you a balanced view of the world. Their job is to keep you watching.
Oops.
And to keep you watching, they have optimized human psychology, constantly chasing emotional velocity and group identity. The algorithm doesn't stop or ask, wait, is this true? No. It only asks one thing and one thing only. Will this keep you emotionally engaged for long enough so I can show you another ad? And that's it. That's the whole machine.
Oh my god.
And here's what the Islamic Republic figured out before almost anyone else did. If you can make content to hijack that machine, to trigger your emotions at scale, you could mobilize people in countries you don't even govern for free. And sprinkle some anti Semitism in there, but I'll get into that on another video. Let's talk about the Free Palestine movement. And not the people in it, the infrastructure behind it. The Islamic Republic funds Hamas. That's a fact.
Fact.
Hamas is the governing authority in Gaza. Whether you like it or not, they have full control over the strip. And their charter calls for the destruction of Israel. They're against gay rights. They are an Islamofascist authoritarian regime, whether you like it or not. Free Palestine is a Sharia proxy state. The Islamic Republic funds Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and a whole network of proxies and militias across the Middle East. What they openly call is the axis of resistance, all pointed in the same ideological direction. Now, here's the question that should stop you cold. Why Palestine? Out of all the injustices in the world, and there are many, why Palestine became the moral obsession of Gen Z? Because the Free Palestine content that hits every social media platform isn't random, isn't grassroots, and it's not organic. It was designed and engineered to hit every trigger the algorithm rewards.
Simple oppressor victim framing, check. Visceral imagery, check. Clear moral stakes. Tribal identity markers, the flag, the kafafa, the slogan, check. Anti-Western framework that maps onto existing progressive narratives, check.
And everyone's favorite? Anti-Semitism. Check. This content was designed, not all of it consciously, but systemically, to hit every trigger and to spread on Western feeds, to feel like an organic youth movement, like you just discovered it yourself. And it worked. Because the algorithm is perfectly amoral. It doesn't care who made the content or why. It just cares that it made you feel something strong enough to stay here for a little longer.
Don't leave me!
The Islamic Republic has spent the last 40 years building an ideology that positions itself as the resistance to Western imperialism, and Palestine is the crown jewel of it all. It's the cause that lets them present as this defender of the oppressed, all while beating, torturing, and executing their own people at home. And through social media, they exported that framing into the minds of every Western teenager, without crossing a single border, all through your phones. Now let's talk about how the regime is treating Iranians. In September of 2022, a 22-year-old Kurdish Iranian woman named Gina Masa Amini was arrested by the morality police in Tehran for allegedly wearing her hijab incorrectly. She died in custody 3 days later. What followed was the largest uprising in Iran since the Green Movement. Women were cutting their hair in public, all chanting one thing: women, life, freedom. The regime responded with live ammunition, tear gas, mass arrests, and executions. Teenagers were sentenced to death just for posting online videos. Same thing you're doing for Gaza.
Are we the baddies?
And it didn't stop there. On January of 2026, Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, the son of the Shah and the most prominent voice of the Iranian opposition, called on Iranians inside Iran to take to the streets. They took to the streets barehanded, and they were met with machine guns and live ammunition.
Now think about it.
The Islamic Republic is so confident in their control over global information that the first thing they do when they kill their own people, that's to shut down the internet. Because they know, without viral content, nobody cares. And they're right. Because while Iranians were being shot and killed in January, what was trending on your feed? I'll let you answer that yourself. Now let's think about why this happens. And it's not because Iranian women are less worthy or less human. That's not it. Anyone with a heart who sees what's happening to the women in Iran feels something. The difference is not sympathy or lack of emotion. The difference is infrastructure. There is no one funding Iranian women's content. There is no 40-year-old ideological machine pushing women like freedom into your feed. There is no network of influencers, campus organizers, or media channels amplifying their causes. In fact, the opposite is true. See, the regime that is oppressing and killing Iranians is the same regime that's pumping your feed with free Palestine content. The Islamic Republic has every reason to suppress the voices of Iranian women and amplify the voices of Palestine. One story makes them look like the bad guys, and the other, heroes. The algorithm didn't accidentally forget about Iranian women. It was steered away from it.
Look over there!
This is where a lot of people get lost and where internal psychology comes into play. I'm not saying everyone who supports Palestine is an agent of the Islamic Republic, and I'm not saying everyone on campuses knows what they're supporting. Most of them don't. That's kind of the whole point. I know. The most effective influence operations don't recruit people. They don't need to. They just need to create the conditions where people will voluntarily carry their message. Kinda like a trap. All they have to do is sit and wait for the right people to show up. Online movements spread fastest when they can compress into simple, adoptable identities. A flag, a clothing item, a symbol, a chant. Free Palestine became an aesthetic, a trend, a social signal. Wearing a keffiyeh, posting a watermelon emoji, it all told everyone something. I belong. I'm a part of a group. And these are all powerful needs. The need to belong, the need to be a part of something. These are all real human needs that are often preyed on by cults and the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic didn't manufacture any of those needs, they just learned to exploit them. They created a cause with very simple binaries: right, wrong, Jewish villain, oppressed, oppressor, and they didn't have to do anything other than just feed it to the algorithm and let it do the rest. It's like printing money, but with hate. For many people online, politics isn't about understanding the world. It became a way to perform your moral identity in public, and the algorithm set the stage. And here's where it's about to get an even darker turn. As if things weren't dark enough already, that's just how algorithms work. They push you to the polar ends, they radicalize. Because once you've adopted the identity, the algorithm knows you and it knows what you like, and then it starts feeding you more and progressively more intense. So you start watching content about Palestinian civilians, then you start watching content about the broader conflict, then you start watching content about Western foreign policies, and next thing you know, anyone opposing the West is framed as morally justified. Every step feels like a logical extension of the next, like it just makes sense you will do that too. But it's not. It's a pipeline, and anyone who understands algorithms or radicalization can see it clearly. Ultimately, the West becomes the enemy. And here's the most perverse part of the entire story. If you've watched my previous video, the people who end up supporting these ideologies are those that are most likely to be the ones that are killed first. And it doesn't matter how the pipeline started, when it's guided by the Islamic Republic, they just learn to weaponize whoever's on it. So, what do we do with all of this? First, I want you to understand that if you care about Palestinians or Palestine, that's not the problem. The problem is that you're supporting a movement that is owned and manufactured by the Islamic Republic. Caring about Palestinians is different from adopting an identity engineered by the Islamic Republic. It's different from marching under slogans that serve the regime's geopolitical interests. It's different from amplifying a movement whose intellectual property is owned by the theocracy that executes women. Second, apply your morals consistently. If you care about Palestinians, ask yourself, why do you not feel the same way about the women and the children of Iran? Executed and killed, tortured and hanged just for wanting the same rights as you. But if after all of this you still don't care about the people of Iran, then that's the influence operation working. Don't forget, content recommendation systems are not neutral and they don't have your best interests at heart. They are commercial, immoral, and easily exploitable. Here's what I keep coming back to. The Islamic Republic of Iran kills women for showing their hair, beats, tortures, imprisons dissidents, jails journalists, and shut down the internet when their people revolt. And they convinced an entire generation to march for their cause. And not through force or invasion, through content, through recommendation systems, through an algorithm that felt like your own discovery, through identity that felt like yours, through content that felt like you yourself discovered. That is the most sophisticated influence campaign of the 21st century. Gotta give credit where credit's due. If there's one thing the Islamic Republic knows how to do, it's to brainwash children.
Thank you for watching.